So let's take a look at the balance adjustments coming for June 7th. Pretty much like all the classes are getting like some sort of change or changes coming with the version 2 update. Yeah, this is kind of like the thing that I was talking about with the video before. That I didn't go too much in depth with today. But now we're gonna go to every single one and kind of talk about it. If it needs like more explaining, then I'll explain it or try to show it off in game. But we're gonna go through every single one here. First off, though, I already mentioned this before, but we'll be able to unlock the ability to redistribute skill points for free. Free! Isn't it amazing? Yeah, so we'll be able to freely reassign our skill points for all our classes without needing to spend AC, SG, or any items, anything like that. Finally. Like, I've been asking for this, since, like, base game, like, when that launched globally. Like, I always just wondered why this was the case. Like, it just seems so outdated of a system to, like, not just being able to, I don't know, spend Meseta or just, like, freely change your skill points, like, whenever, considering you don't really know what's good or bad as, like, a new player. It just makes no sense, at least to me. But now, starting June 7th, we'll be able to just do that. You will still be able to buy extra skill trees, so if you want, like, preset, things that I can just instantly switch to instead of having to reset your skill points all the time, you can do so. And you can also still, like, move them around if you want them on different classes, too. But that'll still probably cost, AC, just as before. So far, you feel like the skill tree update is the best thing in Ultra Evolution? Yeah, I agree, I agree. Yeah, pretty much a massive change, just like with that. But now let's kind of take a look at the changes here. I know there was a few that I saw that were game-changing, but yeah, let's just go through this in order. So starting off with Hunter, with the class skills. So Hunter Physique, damage taking rate increased when used by a subclass. Let's go take a look at the stuff in the class counter here. So learn class skill, Hunter. The Hunter Physique. So the damage taken rate increased. Let's not spend into that. So with this, basically you take less damage, the more points you put into this, and right now as a subclass it's 75%, so 25% damage reduction, and then with main class it's 30% when the skill is active. But with this, I do believe it means that it's going to make it better and not worse. But I'm not 100% positive on that, because you can kind of interpret it in different ways, right? So damage taken rate increase, meaning, like, in your favor, so then this would be, like, less of a number, or it could mean increase, like, you're going to take more damage. Like, the damage taken rate is higher, so instead of 25% damage reduction, it's actually, just 20% or 15. But I think it does mean in the player's favor. So it's probably going to be like 50%, yeah, most likely, for subclass. So it's kind of making Hunter more viable as a sub versus like others. It's still probably not going to be a thing most people use because, it's still not, for DPS, it's just tankiness, but it makes it even more of a tankier class, and I believe it also does that with the other skills here. So Hunter Physique extra shields, increased damage taken rate, so the same thing with this, but instead of just subclasses with main class and subclass. And then the shield durability count when used under a subclass is now the same as when used under the main class. So this is talking about this here. When you put in 3 points, the damage taken rate becomes the same with the subclass as the main. But if you have less, then, it's different. So I think just like damage taken rate is just going to be increased for both. But then also the shield count is going to be the same as a subclass. So maybe this is just going to be the same if you put all 3 points into it, like for both main and sub. So just not going to be different between either. Or maybe like the main class is going to get more damage taken rate over the subclass, and that's where the difference is going to be. Because it'd be kind of weird that the main class wouldn't have more of a benefit, right? But just overall positive for this skill as well. I guess like to just say what the shield does is that it's kind of like a damage reduction on top. After, well, not on top, but like after 100 physique ends, it's like extra shields. So like if you get hit once, it reduces that one hit by 30%, and one of the shields goes away. So as a subclass, you only have the one shields, and then it's just gone. But it'll become 3 shields with this change, so you'll be able to take 3 hits if you're main or sub, pretty much. Yeah, look, going back here. The Partisan Parry Alternate Assault will get increased potency, so that's just like more damage. For all of these, they don't say by how much increased potency, so it could just be minor, it could be major. Don't really know until it happens. That'll get more damage. And then there's some wired lance adjustments, and there's a lot of changes for it. So relax cancel timing for sidestep and weapon action, the first and second steps of wired lance normal attacks. So essentially what that means is that when you're in those steps of the normal attack, so the first and the second attack, then you'll be able to cancel them with these 2 things easier. It's just what it means by relaxed. So there's like a wider window for it to be canceled. Added a forward guard point to the 3rd step of the wired lance normal attack. So that's just like the 3rd part of the combo with normals. They'll add a front shield. So something attacks you head on, they'll do a guard against it. Kind of like reduce the damage of it. Increase motion speed for the 3rd step of wired lance normal attacks. So increases like just how fast it goes. Increase potency for the 4th step, some more damage in the 4th. Or I think that's like the final part of the combo for wired lances. Some more damage there. Kind of the same thing with the relaxed timing for sidestep strike and the sidestep counter. And then increased potency for the final step of wired lance's weapon action when holding down a left/right directional movement button for a variant. So with the wired lance's weapon action, you can do different variants with it depending on if you're holding a direction or not. And this is just essentially specific to the left or right one. More damage. Yeah, looking at the photon arts, though, there's some changes as well. Cutting layer, increased potency, relaxed sidestep cancel timing, and adjusted weapon action cancel timing. Let's see, with this adjustment, it will no longer be possible to cancel the weapon action immediately after the last strike hits. So I guess you can't cancel the weapon action after doing the last hit. It will no longer be possible to cancel the weapon action immediately after the last strike hits. Yep, sidestep for days. Yeah, it seems like gonna be able to sidestep out of a lot of different things here. That's probably what you want to do more so. Anyways. But let's see. Vein Mixture. Increased potency. Relaxed attack cancel timing after 2 spins. Relaxed weapon action cancel timing after 2 spins. Extended the attack range for the final attack. Let's see, I believe Vein Mixture is a thing that you can hold down and spin. Spin and clear through enemies before unleashing a powerful blow can be used while moving. Yeah, so just on the second spin, so you can't like do it right away, but after a little bit, you can cancel, or like it's a wider window for canceling. And then like when you let go of it on the final attack, it's a bigger range. And then increased potency for the other 2 PAs. I don't know if they're... I don't know, it's kind of worded weird. Yeah, I was thinking that too. It might be removing the cancel, or just like you can't cancel the weapon action after the last strike. It's weird because, yeah, it says with this adjustment, it is no longer possible to cancel the weapon action immediately after the last strike hits. Like, if it was supposed to be weapon action cancel, it would be worded, it will be no longer possible to weapon action cancel immediately after last strike hits. Unless it was just some intern, like, translated it wrong or something, I don't know. I guess it could be taken either way. Yeah, Partisan didn't really get much change, except for just one PA, the Thrusting Javelin. Increased potency for it, and decreased continuous PP cost while holding down the button. So this is the one that's like poking, and increased turning speed while holding down the button, so you kind of like move around better. So that actually sounds pretty massive for that PA, because I think it was still used, like in high-end play, just like very rarely, just like for certain situations. But now, because it has like a lower cost and higher damage, might be used more, depending. But then for Knuckles, so this is for Fighter now. That's all Fighter got is just Knuckles, and it's increased potency for Swift Rush and 1,000 Blows. 1,000 Blows, I think, is like the whole bunch of punches, of course, 1,000 punches. Swift Rush, which one was that? Swift Rush. Oh, isn't that like the... And then, yeah. It's like a left, right, and then boom. Yeah. Which fighter had gotten quite more buffs? Right now it feels directly inferior to Slayer. Well, do keep in mind that we're also getting new skills with version 2. So, like, this is just adjustments for things that already exist, and not what we're getting that's, like, brand new. So, Fighter might be getting something that can make the difference, but Fighter is already insanely powerful. Fighter sucks, please buff. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Fighter is still powerful, and just Slayer just is also really good because of the crit stuff. The crit is insane. It makes it like a huge difference. But maybe we'll be getting things that, are across the different classes that, could bump them up. But we just don't know until they actually announce those things, so we see it in game. But yeah, that's it for Fighter and Knuckles. But then Ranger has quite a few changes, and also one of the biggest changes, in my opinion. But let's go through this in order. So Bad Condition Ward and Bad Condition Reduction will just get increases when used as a subclass, so they're just more viable as a subclass. Still don't think they're that great. I mean, it's still status elements, which don't really matter too much, but yeah, the change is huge. Yeah, I mean, this is nice for gunners, I guess, right? But this change is what I'm talking about that's huge. Blight rounds. So increased motion speed, relax sidestep cancel timing, relax weapon action cancel timing, so that's kind of like whatever, but it's this part. Updated to allow the same enemy to be hit by a blight round from each player. So now you don't have to fight over blight rounds anymore. So you can blight to the legs, you can blight the chest, you can blight whatever, all the parts at the same time if you have enough Rangers. And it doesn't matter anymore. It won't, like, go between a million different ones. So now you can just focus on, whatever part as long as there's a blight. Yeah, there is a caveat to that for, like, the unexperienced players that don't know which parts to attack and just always follow the blight. That they'll probably just be confused and just attack whatever still. But I still think this is a better overall change, because for those that do know which part to attack, they don't have to worry about some random ranger, screwing them over and putting it into a random spot. There's no more fighting with that. No player versus player, essentially, with the blight rounds, the blight round war. But yeah, you can put on different parts, but that also means that when you have piercing attacks, because you can have 2 blight rounds on the same enemy, you can have the piercing be blighted throughout the enemy's, throughout the attack, essentially. So if you're using, like, the rifles, whatever it's called, the raising shot? Yeah, this one penetrates targets and hits multiple parts across the way. if you have everything blighted along that way with like different rangers, I feel like you could do like so much more damage. Like, of course, there's like diminishing returns across the the different parts, but because each one can be blighted, it's even more. Blightception, yeah. Let's see, what does it say in the red text here? Along with the above update, a bug will be corrected where the effective blight round remains even after the effect duration ended with the blight rounds hit certain objects. Okay, so bug fix as well. Yeah, I wonder how this is gonna work, because if it does work like I said, I think the meta might be having multiple rangers, depending on the party composition. Because there's quite a few attacks that can pierce. It's going to be a mess. Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. But it's a good mess. It's a good mess. But yeah, if there's multiple blight rounds, I could see it being more difficult to reinforce. Oh wait, but never mind. Gotta read the next part. Blight rounds reinforce. Updated so that the count for the number of hits required to activate the skill will be determined by the total number of hits for all blight rounds weak points on that enemy. Ah, so they already knew what I was thinking. So it doesn't matter which blight round you're hitting, so that all of the blight rounds will be reinforced at once. Oh my god. That's busted, dude. That's insane. That's insane. Okay, well, there it is. Yeah, that's actually really good, because I was worried that because people will be spread in focus, someone would be attacking the leg, someone would be attacking chest, like, you won't be able to reinforce as easily because of all the different blight rounds. But because of that change right there, that fixes what I was just about to say. Okay. So rangers might, be used more because of this, like way more, because it's no longer fighting with each other. And, you can actually have multiple rangers be useful instead of just like only one having blight round. It's actually really good. Yeah, I think this is the most significant change, at least what I've seen so far. There might be something else too along the way, but let's see. So launcher blight rounds, increased motion speed, relaxed sidestep, cancel timing. All right. Launcher attack reinforce, increased potency of steps 1 to 3 of normal attacks. All right, so more damage with those when you're doing the launcher attack stuff. Assault rifle adjustments. Okay. Increased motion speed for assault rifle normal attacks, so kind of just like moving around faster. Relax attack cancel timing for normal attacks, so being able to cancel with other attacks, like PAs or whatever. Relax sidestep cancel timing and weapon action cancel timing for assault rifle normal attacks as well. So pretty much you can cancel normal attacks easier with other things. This won't change any meta just for pugs that don't know their target. I'm not so sure about that. Because like I said, if your party, like the majority of it uses piercing attacks, and all of it benefits from blight rounds, I feel like that could change some things. I don't know if it will be changing the overall meta, but it could change certain team compositions. I feel like it could. Because there's some enemies that are like long, like hamburger, length. Like the Lazento stuff, Rennis in some instances. Just like other bosses too. Or if you can angle it correctly. Yeah, with the assault rifle stuff though. Yeah. But with the assault rifle stuff, the PAs, raising shots, got some increased potency. Adjusted the potency allocation. What that means is that the potency is going to be spread out differently across the attack. That's all it means. Relax sidestep cancel timing when both charged and uncharged. Relax both charged and uncharged weapon action cancel timing. Homing darts, increased potency, allocation change as well. Relaxed timings of the canceling. Blaze shot, increased potency. relaxed timings, and same thing with revolt aim. So way easier to cancel everything with assault rifle, increased damage across the board, light round change. Like Ranger's eating good with this balance adjustment update. And then for launcher, it's pretty simple. Increased potency for every PA, and adjusted the allocation with divine impact. And that's everything for launcher, or for Ranger. The next class. So Gunner here. Attack PP recovery, increased recovery for the subclass, and same with Overwhelm. So it looks like they're trying to take a look at subclass stuff a lot here, and make it more viable for different options that aren't like as popular. Dodge PP gain updated so that the effect is activated even when used by a subclass. Which one is that? Dodge PP gain? Is that just when you're... Let's see. I don't want to say something that's wrong. Dodge PP gain. A successful dodge using sidestep or twin machine gun weapon action recovers PP. That's actually... Now that can be used as subclass too? I mean, that's pretty good. Because you can just sidestep. You don't have to use twin machine guns. You can sidestep. I don't know if it would make it like a subclass you'd really go for still, but that's actually a really good change too. But yeah, subclass will get more out of these two things, so more PP recovery. So it actually might... I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Like, Force is, like, really good in the farming because of eradication PP gains. So I feel like Gunner still would struggle to beat that in farming scenarios, but I don't know. Like, if you're really hurting for photon power for whatever class you're playing, being able to sidestep and get 20 PP recovery, just like boom, done. And nothing will beat the PP batter. Yeah. Yeah, we're already done Ranger. Ranger good. Ranger change is good. Let's see. So that's actually good there. Stylish Onslaught. Change the forward guard point at activation to an omnidirectional guard point. I mean, that's good. And extended the guard points. So it's now all around guard, and it lasts longer. Okay. Stylish Onslaught. Oh yeah, that's performing the weapon action without any directional input. Okay. I don't know if you guys really use that too much, though. Do you guys use weapon action without directional input often? It's basically useless. And finishers? Okay. Yeah, I don't know if, like, you'd use that too much, but, like, it's better than nothing, right? Rising Drive, increased potency. So more damage with the Rising Drive. Then the Twin Machine Gun adjustments. There's actually quite a few here. Bullet Rave, adjusted the allocation, so the potency is going to be a little bit different across its attack. And relaxed timing. Aimless Rain. Increased the potency and adjusted the allocation, so more damage, but different spread. Relaxed timing of canceling it with pretty much everything, even jump cancel, which we don't really see very often. But I guess relaxed jump cancel timing in the second half. Interesting. And even attack cancel in the second half as well. Point blank. Increased potency. Added an effect to prevent launch and knockback during the approach motion. Interesting. So you'll probably still take the damage, but you won't be, you know, hit out of it. You'll still be able to, like, go through with the attack. Relaxed hit stops when attacked by an enemy during an attack. Okay. Infinite ricochet. Increased potency. Updated so that the altitude does not increase during mid-air attacks. That's a good change? Okay. Yeah, like, Gunner's, like, my least played class. It's hard to say, like, if it's a good thing or not. But I guess, like, not changing the altitude is good, so you don't have to, like, go over the place. Or, like, it readjust. So that's good. And then relaxed timing. Okay. So pretty much good stuff across the board then. Possible to stand the ground with some enemies. It's really annoying. I see. So I guess it just like makes it more usable. Like you don't have to adjust all the time with that attack. But I swear there was something that Elvian was saying that the change just wasn't very good with this, and I don't remember what it was. I mean, to me, it seems like overall this is like good stuff. Like how they don't even say the increases, so people can just clock the map. Yeah. Yeah, we won't really know what the increases are until it happens, right? So these could just be minor increases, but like even with minor increases, excuse me, even with minor ones, you know, it's something. It's more damage. You take that. You take those. Let's see. So now let's move into Force. Force didn't get too much here. But for both Rod and Talus, extended the distance from the enemy at which drop is mitigated in steps 1 to 3 of Rod normal attacks. So what this means for both of these is that you up to a certain distance don't lose height, but once you go beyond that threshold you start actually, you know, dropping down, like the further you get away from the enemy essentially. So this will just extend that range before you start dropping down to the ground, and that's really all there is to it. It's kind of sad to see that there isn't more changes for Force, because I feel like it has been lacking a little bit. Definitely not too much in like the farming department, but like I don't know. I feel like it could use some help here or there, but maybe once again it comes down to the new skills that the classes are getting. Maybe Force is just getting some crazy skills. Who knows? Who knows? But it's not looking too good for Force here at the moment. But yeah, Techter, let's see. Class skill adjustments. Weak elements amplifier, increase the value of the PB gauge, increase for skill level 9 and below when used by a subclass. The PB gauge increase level 10 will remain unchanged. This is the same for Awake Isle. Okay. So that's the two passive skills. So it's saying that the increases from 1 to 9 will be higher than just 2%. I'm guessing that's what it means. So probably be, I don't know, 3 to 5. Actually, how much does the main class increase by? Increases by 10% the first level, but then by 3 and then 2. So like, I guess like with the subclass, it'll probably just start catching up to the main class. So it's probably gonna be like 3% each level or something instead of 2. So then it'll be almost the same as main at 10. So at 10 you still get 2%. But if... How does that work? Because if it got 3% every level, then it would actually exceed the main class. I guess just like overall, maybe it's not talking about like each individual point, but just overall from 1 to 9, it's gonna be like a little bit more of an increase. Well, there isn't like too much of a difference here. It's literally 124, 118. So I don't think it's gonna be that massive for the subclass. It just might make it similar, like very close to main. Or exactly the same as main, I don't know. Seems weird to me. Like, I wonder why they're making this change to having subclass being kind of like the same as main class bonuses. Shouldn't there be a point to having it be main more benefit? Maybe that's just me. I guess the same's going to be happening with this as well. The subclass is going to get more of an increase between 1 to 9. Definitely a confusing one, but I guess it's just like probably like a couple percentage difference, and not like massive. But let's go into the technique adjustments. So this applies to both, well, just pretty much everything that can use techniques. So Techter, Force, Bouncer, like those kind of classes. Let's see, so Fire technique, FOE and GIFOE get increased potency, adjusted allocation. Ice techniques get kind of like the same thing here, some more damage. Lightning techniques, Zonde increases potency of attacks that jump to a surrounding enemies when attacking while charged. I thought it already did massive damage already. I guess Zonde is getting more busted, so that's gonna be nice for farming, right? Jesus. Okay. Gazande, increased potency, adjusted potency allocation. Increased potency for the wind, increased potency for both the light and the dark. So pretty much all the techniques are getting more damage. Okay. So overall good with those. Zonde buffs, yeah. I'm gonna go back to Zonde for farming, yeah. Alright, but now let's move on to Braver here. So unfortunately, I don't know why they did this. Katana isn't getting any buffs. I don't know why. I mean, Katana's like one of the worst weapons out there. Come on, SEGA, please. Please, SEGA, give me my buffs. No. Katana's been eating good, so it's kind of understandable. Yeah, no buffs for me, yeah. But pretty much all bow stuff here. So the class skill Bow Illusion Plus is going to get increased potency. Kind of like the little extra little flare thing you can do with the weapon action. With the PAs, though, Flex Arrow, Frenzied, Firework, Dimensional Ray, Ceaseless Draw, pretty much all increased potency and adjusted allocation for most of them. And that's pretty much it. Just more damage for Bow. Bow's eating good now. I don't know. Who knows how big of a difference that'll be. Maybe I'll check it out. Let's see. With Bouncer here, there's some class skill changes for both weapons. Pinion Blade, increased potency. And Jet Sweep Jolts, PP Save, and Rapid Boost gets more duration. So pretty nice and straightforward bonuses. But then for Jet Boots, increased potency for the 4th step of Jet Boots' normal attacks. And expanded the attack range for the first hit and, of the 4th step of Jet Boots' normal attacks as well. So for the 4th step is getting stronger in the combo. And then for all the PAs, well, most of the PAs, more damage, adjusted allocation, and then Surging Impulse, adjusted allocation. Straightforward there. And then Waker. And there was an interesting change here. Let's see, Retro Friends Rescue. Increased activation probability. So this skill is this one. So you have a chance of recovering HP when your HP drops below a certain percentage under your max. So currently maxed out, this gets up to 75% with both main and sub. So maybe it'll become 100% if you get all 10 points. Maybe. But also increased HP recovery rate, so just get more HP out of that proccing. And reduced amount of damage needed for activation. So instead of it being 40% activation, it'll be higher, so maybe like 50%, I would reckon. Maybe 100% activation would be insane. I don't know. The HP recovery rate, 30%. Because that almost give you like a full heal then, right? I guess it kind of depends on how hard you're getting hit. But if you just like barely meet the thresholds, and you're getting like 30 to... Because right now it's 30 as main, and 15% as a sub. So if that gets increased, like with the main, you might get up to like 40%. That almost like full heal you back. If you're from full and go to that threshold. So that's actually nice there. And then welfare management... Damage taken rate increase when used by a subclass. Raised HP level at which activation occurs. So this is kind of similar to what happened with Hunter skill. So this here is going to make the damage taken rate better, I'm guessing. It's most likely going to be better. It just worded weird once again. But then the activation for this currently is 30%. It's probably gonna be 40%, probably. If I was to take a guess, but you know, better, gonna proc more often. Good, you know, better defense. Hot Marmello Parry, reduce the cooldown time. This is like your main like active skill that you're gonna use to negate damage with Waker. They kind of just use it in between PAs, so getting able to do that more often is really good. Because you can just ignore damage while attacking. Let's see, Hot Marmello Parry short cooldown. Reduce the amount of time that the cooldown is shortened by. Reduce the amount of time the cooldown is shortened by. So is that actually a nerf? I think that's a nerf. Reduce the amount of time that the cooldown is shortened by. Yeah, that sounds like a nerf to me. When combined with the cooldown time adjustment of Hot Marmello Parry, this is overall decrease in cooldown time compared to before the adjustment. Okay, so this is going to actually be a massive cooldown reduction then. Because overall, you're going to be better off with these changes. They're just kind of like adjusting this skill because of this adjustment here. So that's why this one's getting a nerf. So a lot of the regular parry is going to be taking some of the bonus from this. Because what Hot Marmello Parry short cooldown does, for those that don't know, is that if you miss, like you don't get hit while the parry was activated, it shortens the cooldown by like quite a bit, right? 5 seconds, yeah. So this is probably gonna be now only like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, but this is going to take that plus some. So maybe this cooldown normally is only gonna be like 6 seconds or something like that. 5 seconds, who knows? So it'd still almost be like instant, like with that. So you still would want this skill, it's just not gonna be as useful. Overall, good change. But let's look at the harmonizer here. So this is the last of the stuff. No Slayer changes. The following adjustments will be made to the harmonizer. So for Photon Art, Fredrin Breath, increased potency, expanded the attack range of non-variant attacks, extended the range distance of non-variant attacks, and increased the number of lock-ons for the variant. So this is the one where you can lock on to a whole bunch of enemies, like shooty, or whatever. But pretty much just like overall buffs there. Everything. Fredrin Riding, so this is also the other ranged pet attack. Increases the potency and adjusts the allocation. Just the allocation. So I wonder if the riding portion of it, where you're like kind of like going through enemies, is going to be increased, or maybe decreased and put into the final smash where you release it. I'm not sure. Expanded the attack range of variant attacks, and updated so that the explosion occurs even if the variant attack does not hit. That's actually pretty cool. So it like when you throw out the enemy, like when you're done riding Fredrin, you like throw it out, and if you don't hit an enemy currently, it doesn't explode, but now after this change it will, even if you don't hit an enemy, so you can still kind of AoE if you miss. So that's actually good. Yeah, that's everything. No Slayer bumps, that's one of the weaker classes, yeah. I imagine it's not going to get any adjustments since they just made the class, so it already has the adjustments that it was going to, you know, have if it already, you know, existed for a while. Like, they already did the adjustments. So that kind of makes sense. But I would say overall, just everything is really good here. I still think there needs to be some work done with some of the classes. But who knows? Maybe like some of the increased potency is just going to be major for some of these, and it won't, you know, it'll change my mind. Because personally, I think like Techter and Force have been hurting a little bit. But maybe these technique changes, like with increased potency, will be major. But with Techter, though, if you're using Wand, like this isn't really going to help as much. Like, of course you can use techniques with Wands, but you're not really using that often. But do keep in mind, one last time, that we will be getting new skills along with these adjustment changes. So those new class skills will be getting in the trees. could also make a major influence on how these classes perform. We might get more damage, you know, more damage stuff for certain weapons, like different abilities, different passives. Who knows what will happen with these. But I think my favorite for sure was the Blight round change. That is gonna like reduce the headache of so many people like fighting with each other with Blight rounds. It's gonna reduce it for me too, because I just hated like people freaking out about it. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like sure it was like annoying if you're trying to, you know, do the best of the best runs or something like that, but yeah, now that anybody can just Blight round any part and it can be all the time. Amazing. Amazing. And like they already fixed the issue that I was gonna come up with the reinforce. I almost think this is gonna like change the meta. It might. It depends. It depends. I pretty much agree with all these changes. Like they're all good, all nice. It seems like a huge emphasis in this one in particular is making subclasses better for less popular subclasses. So Ranger, damage taken rate increase, the Gunner with the more PP gain, Ranger with the increased status stuff, just things from different classes. That'll make the subclasses be a little bit more viable for those different ones. But I still think most people will still use Fighter and Slayer and Bouncer for their benefits because it's DPS focused, while all these other ones are, you know, for photon power or HP, defense, that kind of thing. But that'll be more useful for those that you know, care for those kind of things. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what's to come with the version 2 update. And I'm hoping that the skills that show up are going to be amazing. I'm almost wondering when we're going to get PAs next too, but I don't think that's happening with this update. But maybe they'll just surprise show us with the next headline, who knows? This happy katana got nothing? Oh my god. Mid-update. Wow, wow. Yeah, I mean, I agree, katana got nothing. Pretty mid.